Hello and welcome to Naval Horizons. My name is Kathleen Gately Miranda and I'm a Program Officer at the Naval STEM Coordination Office at the Office of Naval Research. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Miss Diana DeCarlo. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Awesome. Well, can you tell us a little bit about how you came to be a civilian scientist for Department of Navy?
Absolutely. I was born and raised in the local area to NAS Patuxent River. And the base was always a part of my childhood. I actually used to play soccer here on Saturdays where this building is now at. And my father also was an employee here for several years. I didn't necessarily know what all the options were within the base until after I graduated, and it's given me a wonderful opportunity to work on a variety of aircraft through various phases of their test programs.
That's awesome. What was your academic path to getting here?
So I always really enjoyed math and it came naturally to me. And so when I was trying to figure out what type of degree I should pursue, it would just seemed like a great fit to pursue electrical engineering at West Virginia University.
Awesome. And then you came back here after you received your degree and that's when you started working?
That's true. And I actually interned here as a college student. And so that gave me a little bit of an introduction of the opportunities that would be here for me after I graduated, and it just seemed like a natural fit to return.
So what do you work on now?
So I am the department head for Mission Systems Test and Evaluation. I'm responsible for over a 300-person workforce, and they evaluate installed mission and avionics systems on all of our naval platforms. And what does that exactly mean? If you were to compare that to a car, we're not necessarily responsible for the tires, the engines, how it drives, but we are responsible for, does the navigation system work? How about the backup camera? How does the music come through? How comfortable are the seats? How many button pushes do we need to be able to, let's say, turn our heated seats on or off? And so we evaluate those systems to make sure that they meet their intended mission, and then we report out those results to program managers who make the tough decisions.
That's awesome. So you evaluate these things, provide that data and feedback so that people can make better decisions on how these things should operate and function?
Absolutely. We give them the goods, the bads, the uglies, and we always tie that to a mission relation piece. We work very closely with military counterparts that we call project officers, and we value the project engineer, project officer relationship very much. The project officer brings the real world experience, having been in the fleet and flown multiple missions, and the project engineer brings the technical engineering knowledge of the system, and together they work together to evaluate those systems.
That's cool. So the civilian sector and the military sector are working really close together to come to a solution.
Yes.
That's awesome. Are there things that you're working on now that you're excited about?
Yes, we have several people who support the latest aircraft that are getting ready to field. And they are very complex systems and they are networked together. So evaluations of secure comm systems and networking is pretty much the backbone to everything that we do, how all of our aircraft communicate with one another. And so making sure we have that foundation linkage right is very important to us.
When you say secure comms, that means secure communication so that what I want to communicate to you isn't overheard by maybe somebody else?
You got it.
Awesome. And, you know, airplanes have been around for a long time. Obviously, you guys have a unique expertise. If you had to imagine where this would go in the next 10, 15, 20 years, are there different areas that you're seeing, hey, that could be really interesting in the future?
Absolutely. We're seeing some of it now with autonomy, and I see that expanding to AI and machine learning. We hear a lot about that in the news and how it might apply to our everyday lives, but it also could apply to our aircraft. And so how do you evaluate an AI and machine learning aircraft? We're not going to be able to test all of the corner cases, so we have to figure out what are those most unique and important test cases that we evaluate before we give a thumbs up or a thumbs down on system performance.
That's awesome. Have there been any incredible experiences that you've had that you might want to highlight or share?
Sure. I've worked on my first years of employment here. I worked on F-18 on a secure communication system, and we had several international partners. So I got to travel across, to Rome, Munich, Madrid, briefing the system and how it was performing, and just learning my craft and learning it well. I was given a lot of responsibility of authoring a test plan to say, this is how we're going to evaluate this system. These are the risks that I might run into, and here am I going to mitigate it. And then I used to develop flight cards and brief air crew. And I actually had an opportunity to do some flights in the backseat of an F-18. And then after landing, we were able to debrief as a crew and evaluate and report on our system.
So you got to fly and see firsthand how some of these things were being utilized.
I did.
That's awesome. How many flight hours do you have?
Close to 20, which is very small compared to our air crew out there. But it was thrilling, all 20 hours that I had in the backseat of an F-18. And it will always be my favorite platform.
That's incredible. As you know, Naval Horizons is for high school and college students. Is there any advice you might give to the next generation who's interested in STEM?
Oh, don't shy away from it. There are, I'm sure, great community events that are put on for you to learn more about STEM, with the videos, but also check out what your community has to offer. And that always be curious, always ask questions, always be a lifetime learner, because our technology is always evolving. We're always going to have to figure out new ways to evaluate our systems, and take pride in what you do, right?
So you mentioned that students should try and get involved with STEM in their local communities, wherever they may be. Are there any things that you do here in your area that you want to share?
I do. I have been involved for several years with STEMming. It's a local event put on at St. Mary's College for middle school girls in the Tri-County area. And we are trying to introduce girls to STEM careers through hands-on workshops throughout the day. They also hear from a keynote speaker. And then at lunchtime, we have a panelist of females in STEM careers for them to be able to ask their questions and receive answers to. And it's a wonderful event, and I always feel energized afterwards because we are now seeing a return on the investment we've made in the community. And some of these girls are now showing up in our workforce as interns and engineers and scientists here.
That's awesome. So great to see that knowledge being passed down from different generations, and it's great to hear what you guys are doing, investing in the next generation.
Yes,
so
thank you. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Great. And thanks for checking out Naval Horizons. We hope you'll watch other videos.